Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Grown Folks Table. My sisters, are you ready to have some grown folk conversation tonight?
Come on. Yes.
Well, hello, everyone that is joining us for the very first time. My name is Elisha V. Cash, and I am the founder of the National Women's Empowerment Ministry and the author of the Little Red Networking book.
Hi, I'm Joyce Littell. I am brand manager of WAOK Radio and host of the Quiet Storm on V103. Both stations are in the Atlanta area.
Good evening, and I am Dolores Grizzle, the immediate past chapter president of the 100 Black Women Decatur DeKalb.
And I am Vicki B. Turner, and I am the elected board member for DeKalb County School District. My husband and I have a monthly initiative in DeKalb County called DeKalb Cultural Exchange. Join us in the virtual space.
And my name is Becky A. Davis. I am also known as the Chief Bosspreneur. I am the owner of MVP Work, a coaching and consulting practice for women entrepreneurs. And I'm the founder of the Bosspreneur Circle, a membership platform to help Black women entrepreneurs create digital dollars.
Well, thank you so much for joining us at the table. We have so much to talk about and unpack, so pull up a seat and drop some comments in the chat for us tonight and let us know how you want to be a part of the conversation. Well, we made history last night, ladies.
Yes, we did.
Yes. It was a historical moment that I believe that the fly is trying to steal the thunder, but we as women made history last night because the first Black woman VP-elect candidate debate was last night on stage in front of millions of Americans. And so I think tonight we have to tribute our woman of the hour last night, Kamala Harris, who stood on the stage before many women representing women and women of color doing such a wonderful job. So tell me, what did you think about Kamala's debate last night, her position on debate last night? How do you think she did?
Well, I'll chime in. I thought that she did an excellent job. I think she was very poised. I think she was very prepared. And her overall demeanor was quite professional. I think she came on a mission, and that is to let the vice president know that she was not a child and that she was going to be treated with respect as a colleague in the Senate, and she accomplished it. I could not have been more proud of her poise and what I would call self-control. And sometimes he would try to goad, kind of subtle little, goading her, but she would just give him what is now known as the famous looks, right? And so the looks have now invaded the virtual space, and I've chosen which one was my favorite look. It's like, I can't believe you said that. I'm proud of her as a woman. As a Black woman, I was proud to see that major accomplishment on that stage. She's ready.
Yeah, I was proud too. Go ahead, Dolores.
Are you sure? Oh, I was just going to say, I want to just ditto again on the history making last night because again, it was the first Black woman on a major party ticket. And we're just so excited about that to participate in this vice president debate. I just wanted to get that out. But I saw it as a more civilized conversation last night, kind of started out. But what I really love, the extra precaution with the plexiglass. I really love that. And but I do think that she was focused, poised, as Vicki was saying. I think she spoke with a lot of honesty. I really loved how she really shut pins down when she had to. Yeah. I love that. And the star of the show was the fly.
But you know what? I never saw the fly. I don't know why. I never saw the fly until I started looking at social media. I'm like, when did the fly happen?
He was there a long time.
A long time.
I know, and I'm like, where was I looking? And when the fly flew in.
What was funny is my husband was like, "Hey, it's a fly buzzing around this. Oh, the fly's in his head."
You know what that means?
White hair, so you can't help but see that black fly sitting out. But I thought she did. I thought she did what probably she came there to do. I've listened to a lot of the commentators talk about and give their advice on it. One of the things that I don't think the commentators outside of I think I heard Van from CNN mention something about it, because you don't know why she did what she did, because a lot of people are like, she should have pushed back more, or she should have. The stereotype of a Black woman that will stand her ground, she had to navigate that terrain. She had to know when to push and when to just, okay, I am going to let it go. And that is something that as a woman of color, and I was sharing with my husband, I said she navigated that well, because this isn't the first time she has been in a room as the only Black, as she's elevated through her career, and she's had to navigate conversations and terrain. So she knew what she was doing when she she knew when she wanted to shut him down. And a lot of people are like, well, she should have stopped him more. Y'all would have thought something different if she would have done that. Y'all would have been saying the angry. She was very. So it's really hard for a woman to because they did a different thing with Hillary. When Hillary was on the table, they were still disrespectful and over talking Hillary. That stuff just I don't know. I know that she managed that very well to me as a Black woman.
And that's what made me proud of the moment too, outside of being a historical moment and my soror. It was a very proud moment for me. And I think, we could be very critical had she, sort of kind of stepped on a lot of things. And I think, like Becky said, she controlled that very professionally to me, because we can go there if we need to. And I think her facial expressions helped her not to have to go there. Like, look here, you come again, and that was enough, for me. But to maintain her cool like she did, and still have a platform of professionalism and being able to express that on many of occasions, then it was a proud moment. And we do have, so much that lay on our shoulders as it comes to being a Black woman and how we express ourselves in whatever moment that we are in, because we can go left, right, whatever way we need to go. But, but in this case, I was pleased and happy that, she handled it very well to me.
And that brings me to my next question too, because I was going to lean in on the stereotypes of women, especially Black women, and someone had already stated, like, she had to be so careful not to come across as this angry Black woman, because they already put us in that box, many times. And so I would like to say that I was very impressed by how she presented herself. You can tell her professionalism. She brought some of her courtroom professionalism in the debate, the way she was able to keep herself poised and direct questions. And my favorite response of hers was, I will not be lectured by the president on this topic, on this discussion.
Like, you don't know nothing about this.
No, let me make it clear that you don't know anything about this particular topic. I will not be lectured, so I just was like, wow, she is just doing such a great job. And then, of course, she was having to, say quite a few times I'm speaking when interrupted. And so we're going to talk more about that, about women being interrupted. But do you all believe we were finally able to accomplish a robust conversation or a robust debate surrounding some of the issues that we've been waiting to talk about?
I don't know that I don't know that we accomplished everything. If you notice, in particular, when Pence was asked questions, he skated around. He did not answer. He would go back to, it's like he had been scripted to what to play to. And so he stayed in that area, even when they asked a question that was totally different. So I felt that he was very evasive, but I found that that happens a lot in debates. But he was very evasive. He stayed in the place that he had been scripted to stay in. So I think that's why the president was pleased. He was pleased with what Pence did. I don't think she accomplished as much because she did have to correct him. She did have to wait on him to be quiet. And this is my opportunity to throw a punch at the commentator. I was not pleased with the commentator. I was not. Now I know she was a Chris Wallace, but I thought she could have. She was not strong enough. She was not forceful enough. She did not stop and shut him down when he kept interrupting and over talking.
And you want to know one of the reasons why? Because Susan Page feels that this was not a news conference, this was not an interview, so she was not very aggressive. Now, if she was in those type of settings, she would have been more aggressive. But we wanted to see that. Yeah. So I really think she did us a disservice by not doing that at this debate.
Somebody put down here that the Fly won the debate.
He did.
I think the Fly was trying to steal the thunder. You know, I really do. I really think if it was, well, maybe I'm just too serious. You know, you guys tell me. You know, I really thought that if it was two men on the stage and the man performed at the level that Kamala performed, then we will be talking about who was the winner and how excellent that person came in. But I just think the Fly came in and kind of steal the thunder of the whole debate. You know, that's just me being serious because, you know, sometimes I'm just like that. But, you know, if it's, you know, Kamala did an excellent job. We should be talking about how she came over there and nailed it. Why is the Fly getting so much doggone attention?
Well, I mean, the Fly was an exciting thing for the debate. I think they have a fly, not two flies, not three flies, but just one little fly that somebody, I still say Ruth, this is all dealing with Notorious RBG. She did it. I know she was somewhere in heaven working on some stuff on it, and the Fly got in through the cracks and walls with however window and just landed. I think that was the funniest thing that could have ever happened. And the memes was saying Flies like, you know, sugar honey iced tea. They love to sit around some sugar honey iced tea. So and the thing about it, the Fly landed during the time that he was talking about the racial stuff when he was kind of skirting past that. So the Fly was like, "You lying? This some bull sugar is some bull sugar." So, you know, hey, I thought it was the best thing of the whole night. That and her saying, "Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking." Those two things was the best for me the whole night. Now, my thing was, I do think that there are some things I wanted more from her. I think she did a great job. I don't diss that at all. I think she was very good. Once she kind of settled in more on the offense, I think coming in, she was kind of on the defense, which is common because your nerves are going, your anxiety is going, and you're just getting into this kind of thing. It's almost like when people are preaching, I can use that as a preacher. When you first start, those are those nerves that are there, and you try to do certain things to get past the nerves. And I think she started out with a defense, but once she got into the offense, she began talking about the things he'd done. She began to nail him on the things that he didn't do. The only thing I wanted to see her do, although she pushed on the Trump, which was good, she needed to kind of say, "You were over the task force."
Right.
Mm-hmm. She never said that. And that was a very important thing to do to get him on that, because he was responsible for that. That was under his leadership. He was the one that, and it still is. So fell apart, you know, from March on to now, it's in his wheelhouse. And I think that would have been an excellent point for her to make, was to just hone down on those things on him. And I don't think that's a point I think that was missed. And like I said, sometimes that happened when you're on that defense and you're a trap there. But once she got on the offense, I think she was so strong. I was just so proud of her, and I was happy to see a Black woman on stage doing what she was doing. But there was some, points that I thought that she missed, and I thought that she should have brought out just to hang him a little bit more. I felt that would have been.
And the perfect segue for that, Libya, would have been when he made the comment about her and Biden making the coronavirus, the COVID-19 vaccination political. So that would have been the prime opportunity to take that approach, to talk about it has been nothing but political the entire time, being that he's overseeing that particular task force.
Absolutely.
But you know what the problem with that is because when the Obama administration left office, they had a playbook in place. And had they worked the playbook, read the guidelines of how, because they knew about all these infectious diseases and how to handle that. But what he was trying to do, as always, everything Obama put in place, every program, every policy, he was trying to dismantle. He's in court right now, for the Affordable Care Act. So he has done this. They didn't want to look at it. Had they done this, we would not be 210,000 people dead. It makes no sense.
You know what I love? One line that I love that she said, I was like, there it is. You got it out. She said, Trump is intentionally trying to undo everything that Barack Obama ever put in place for his own reasons. I was like, yes, because we all know that's what he's doing. It's not for all of this other stuff, or it's crazy. You just want to undo what this Black man did. You just want to that from it. But the fact that she said that.
Yeah.
And you know what I was thinking is, Liv, I feel like this in going into debates, and he made a choice, and there's an intent, and I think there's intentionality behind that. How are you going to go in this debate? How are you going to conduct yourself? I do believe that. I think she had went through whatever prepping she needed to do. I think she was trying to overcome the stigma of the angry Black woman, or the emotional Black woman. And I think they were still trying to overcome the debate that happened, recently with our president, right? And Joe. So I feel she made some intentional choices. While she could have been a little bit more of a dig here or there, I think she walked away the victor. And that is the ultimate goal. Did we walk away with more voters that may have come over on our side? I think she made women look good, and I think she garnered more support from women as a result of it. And regardless of your ethnicity, I think it was a win-win. I think it was a win. Now, if she had it to do again, she may come out a different way with a different choice. But she's a winner. She's a winner in my book.
Oh yeah, I think she's a winner for a lot of people. This is what I think. I think honestly, they both did what they need to do. Pence did what he needed to do for his future in politics. He is going to do after this. We will see him again. So I think he did what he needed to do for that reason. What he did not do, he did not win over the women voters. Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, she definitely did that. She made that point, and I think she did. But I think there were also those women voters who were on the fence, who I talk about all the time. There are still those who were convinced. They needed her to nail some things, and I think that was a miss. So it's a win for those of us who understand probably how these things go, that you only have a limited time to do so many different things. But I do think she could have hit that point, because that point to me, I don't care what prep you did, that was a valid point. If I'm in charge of getting buggies outside of the Publix, and there are no buggies outside of Publix, they're going to come to me and say, you didn't get the buggies outside of Publix. So I think it's very important that she should have done that. And I do think in hindsight, honestly, I do believe that she was probably going to do that. I think probably what happened is she saw how he was over talking her, and the defense happened. And sometimes you do forget, because if you notice, she did look down at her notes to try to keep herself back on point, because I would be the same way. If someone is constantly just running over me, I would probably, in my own personal space and self, it's going to rise up, and I got to say, "Oh, I remember I've been here, on the debate." I think the time ran out because she started laying out the COVID thing so perfectly.
She did.
Talked about, they knew about this in January. They were notified about, how this could spread. It could be airborne, how dangerous it was. And she laid that thing out. And so I believe that she was going to probably hit that, and it just didn't happen. And moving on to another question, we just couldn't get that moment back. And so that's why, sometimes we have to plan even for, because the thing about Pence is, he is known to debate well.
Yes.
He's known to be slick. He's known to be smooth. He's known to have that soft tone. Yes. And he's known to lie. I mean, to where he's so soft tone, he's telling the truth. He just real smooth like that. And so and if you looked at him last night, he hardly changed his demeanor.
Yeah, he did.
There were no memes about his face expressions because he had hardly none. Yeah. And he knows how to do that as a former news commentator. He knows how to have a stone face. He knows how to not give one with the other how he's feeling. And I think he did that part. And that's why I knew he was going to come out the way that he did. But he knew that they were so far down in the polls, and that he knew that there was not much he could do after the president left the hospital. Once he was himself out the hospital,
that was a wrap.
Nothing I can do. And he probably glad the fly landed. Look, y'all got something to talk about because I didn't have much to give you, And so I think he was happy about that. So Kamala, I think she did what she needed to do. But the truth of the matter is the polls hadn't changed. Nothing has changed with that. So nobody really pushed the gamut anywhere. They did a survey of undecided voters on both sides of the fence. Nobody moved. So that part, nothing really happened. But did she do an awesome job on that stage? And to the best of her ability, I would say yes.
What do you think, Libby, about if she helped move the opinions of the black male voter? Do you think that she helped move the opinions of them wanting to support her more?
You know what? I think those who were on board with Biden Harris, ride or die, no matter what, get out of office, I think they're still the same. Never liked her before, and they wanted Bernie, or they wanted somebody else, whether it was Elizabeth Warren or whether it was Booker or whomever it was. I don't know if they have changed, but I do think that some may have come along. I think one thing that they probably wanted to see her do was at the very end when you had to address the little girl, and Pence did it better. He just did. He did it better. And that was a big moment for her. She went on the Biden kind of card and talked about things about it. And I think because Biden wasn't able to get a lot of things out on the debate, I think the strategy was for her to get a lot of things out so that they can be out there. And I knew exactly what she was doing with that. But I think that may have been a missed moment for them to hear her make that speech to say, you know what, we do disagree, but we do come together for the common good of the country. And as you, a little girl, have big hopes and dreams, like I had big hopes and dreams, who would have imagined that I would get to this stage? And it was because people some who were on the other side of the fence also believed in me, supported my campaign. Like she talked about McCain's wife, and though I think that was a great moment, but he navigated the thing together at the end. And I wanted her to do that more. And I think also there's a lot of men talking about, if you were reading the comments of CNN and everywhere else, they're PBS even, they're talking about that stack in the court. That never answered that. And it didn't matter that Pence didn't answer anything. The fact that she never did answer that, and Biden hasn't answered that, they weren't comfortable with that, and some of them took offense to that as well.
Yeah.
But I think what she said, when they say didn't answer it, they want a yes or no. but I do like how she did answer it, and basically saying like what you guys did and put 50 people in, and then you talking about that.
I thought that was a good.
And then, like I don't have to answer that. What did you just do?
Man, and not one of them are African American. So,
and she's exactly, and it's like, so that's what you mean stacking, but you still want me to say yes or no. You just did that, and I think her making that point, I got it, because I probably would have done the same thing. I know they want to hear yes or no, but me making that point is like enough said. I don't need to say nothing else.
I mean, I thought that was really good too. I did. Yeah. I thought it was good, but I think what it is, the reason the question is being asked of her in Biden is because the progressive Democrats, that's one of the things that they are wanting to see. That's one of the things that the progressive candidates have promised. And so that's one of the things that the progressive Democrats will see. Some of them are millennials, and most of them are the Black males. And so that's the reason why that question keeps coming up. And that's the reason why Pence is using that, because he knows who the audience is that wants that answer. I think they're going to have to find a way to answer that. I think she did a good job with saying, you want to talk about it? But I probably would have said, look at the court now. Look what's happening now. Do we want to have people on the court that's going to care about the American people and that's going to be fair, like a Ruth Bader Ginsburg? See, I would have done that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, instead of it being a yes and no, I would have said, we all want somebody on the court.
Right.
That's going to be liked by the American people. So you call it stacking the court. I would disagree with that language. I would say that we're looking for persons to be on that court who's going to be fair and who's going to care about the totality of America and not just not about a select group of Americans. And I think if she would have done that, then it would have been a little bit better. It would have kind of helped that progressive group kind of get okay. And I think they keep nailing that because they know that they're stumped to answer it. And I think the reason they're stumped to answer because they really haven't figured out how to answer it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it may be even premature for them to reveal their hand yet, especially on something that's not is such in a preliminary stage. If which I guess the whole plan is like that. If we get in office, these are some of the things that we're going to implement, but that are hypothetical. So it's like, okay, you want a full-out plan on a hypothetical move. Should we reveal our hands so then they can come and counter and come up with a plan? So it's almost as if dodging the question may be the best strategy so you're not lying,
Well, it depends on the question, because this is politics. This is not business.
But you can lie in politics today. You can lie.
What about that, Becky? I didn't think about that.
You can lie all night. You can lie all night and have a date right next saying the exact opposite, and you can still lie.
Yeah.
Girl, you're so right. I forgot about that.
He lied all night.
Yeah, he lied all night.
Exactly. It's a record. Okay.
You can lie.
But one thing I would say, Pastor, is that I felt she didn't really have to answer that question because they're not in office, number one. And when you think about what the pushback could possibly be, and I agree with you when you were saying they may have a plan. They may be talking about or maybe having to discuss that question. So I think she did the best thing, not trying to address it and then go the wrong way with it. And then that could have hurt her. But I think she just did well with just evading the question. But if Pence didn't answer any questions, why are we so hard on her not answering just one?
I don't know.
That's the way life is.
Right.
I said the same thing.
When they came out the gate talking about president's non-response to not wanting to oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. When it came to the white supremacy, everyone wanted him to deny the white supremacists, and he refused to do that, and then he came back and piggybacked. Then he dialed back on his response. So when him address that, he couldn't address that. But Kamala did a great job. She talked about Breonna Taylor. She talked about social justice. She did not hide behind that. She talked about George Floyd. She talked about being out in the streets and being a part of the entire movement. I mean, I just really liked how she put herself in there with the American people, identified with the millennials, because those young people were the ones that were in the streets doing a lot of the protesting. And so she really let them know that, I was out there with you. I had your back,
She did. And like I said, I really do think that she did a great job in terms of being able to be, she was very professional. She was on her game. She was prepared. She was able to monitor herself when she was, getting the rise on the inside. So I think that she really did set a bar for the whole Biden campaign, because showing the alternative kind of disposition of both of them is very good to see them, how they pair. So I think it was done well. And I think she is helping Biden to remain, not letting Uncle Joe show up too much. So I think she did what she needs to do. One thing I do commend her on is that she attacked him on a lot of the issues and things that needed to happen. And I think that's important. I think, but here's the thing. She's going to be criticized. I do think that there have been some harsh things said to her because she is a Black woman. I do think that, or a woman in general, I think when women get in a form of leadership, these things happen. And I think that's the thing that's kind of disturbing, is when we have that.
It's even harder for an African-American woman since Michelle Obama, since they have left the White House, to hear her share some of the stories of how hurtful it was with people attacking her body structure, sending memes. They haven't done that to any other first lady. That was an attack. Her as a monkey, all of that stuff. That's race stuff that goes out. But the thing that I like about those women, when you get to a certain level in your career and in your business, that's not new to you. You've had to experience it. I know in corporate America, at every promotion, I had to experience something different with a different set of issues that was an attack on me because of the color of my skin. Every time I got promoted. And I think what people don't know, who are not or don't understand because they are not African American, what I saw in that debate, in the VP debate, compared to the presidential debate, she could handle the attacks, but then you have these two white men who are just going at it because they're not used to people over talking. They're not used to, and so they're going and going. But she was like, I'm gonna hold tight in a minute. I know when to come in right now. Well, no, you're not going to overtalk me. Let me tell y'all what I thought about it. I laughed to myself. I said, now, if that was Auntie Max saying she was reclaiming my time. I was like, please just say reclaim it one time. I'm reclaiming my time. I need those minutes that he just used. I'm reclaiming those minutes back. Yes.
But you think about it, though, when I mean, look at all of us, when you know what you know, then you can go into any room in any space. And no matter what people say about you or say, whether they like you or dislike you, when you know what you know, then you be like, come on, whatever, and I think that's what I appreciate and love about her is that she would not have accepted the opportunity and the position if she knew that she didn't have everything that she need to take on this role. And Biden knew the same thing. The Democratic Party knew the same thing, that with the people that they got to go up against, you got to be tough. You got to be tough in many spaces, and you got to know when to be tough and how to be tough. Well, intellectually, she knows she got them. Period. Because
she told him. I'm just saying. Joyce, did you see how she told him? She told him. She said, "Listen,
What we're not.
I'm the only one on
Yes,
this
she
stage.
did.
Don't
Yes,
you
she
dare
did.
rush it.
Yes, she did. Yes, she
So,
did.
you know-
Like that. Yes, she did. I did like this when she said
Talk
that.
about
I
my
said,
record.
and usually, yeah. I mean, she was a bad sister, and I'm thankful that she was chosen because she has the personality, she has the character, she has the intellect, she has the poise, she has professionalism, and to do the job. And however they come at her, you know, on the debate, however they come at her, you know, on social media, however they come at her, my sister ready. She ready for it. So, you know,
even how she unpacked healthcare, she was like, "Okay, if you have any existing conditions, they are coming for you." Right?
Exactly. And she broke down a lot of things. Like you said, you know, that Trump owes $461 million. Let me break that down. That means he owes somebody money. He owes somebody money.
Right. That should concern us too. That should really concern us because we don't know who he's in bed with.
Yes,
and
that's
what they're going to be looking for. We
Yeah.
really got to be concerned about that.
If he got entanglement with Putin, let me tell you that. He got entanglement with Putin, honey.
And that's why
Now,
he
let
want
me
to stay
tell you
in
that.
so bad. He want to stay in because they gonna get his butt.
Right.
Come on with it.
He's going to jail. He's
said,
going to jail.
If I get out, they gonna pick me up. No.
See, either the FBI or Putin. One of them gonna get him.
You know, listen, so I think it was one of the commentators last night was saying, who does he owe money to? And I thought about it that his relationship with Putin, I think, is speaking of something that is being hidden, something that we don't know, something dealing with some business deal. And when I think Kamala said $750 in taxes, that is all our president paid. But I wanted to say something because I've been reveling in that forever. It's like the average citizen. I mean, it's amazing that someone could be that wealthy, supposedly, whether on paper or in real time, and only pay $750. And all of us here on this podcast, we robbed Peter to pay Paul, right?
Every day.
And Paul's brother and his brother.
That's one thing that I thought about, having had Michelle Obama as our first lady, okay? And now to have Kamala Harris in the vice president position, running on a ticket, the first ever. What does it say to our young women? That's a powerful statement. It gives our young women hope for what they can aspire to. Because prior to that, we had a glass ceiling and we could not penetrate it. And I think that we know we have a long way to go. I'm not dismissive of the climate that we're in, but I think it gives hope to a lot of women of color of what the possibilities are for us. But one thing is for sure, you better be ready. You better be ready when you walk among those. And that's what I saw with her last night. She's ready. She's ready. It's not for the heart. She's ready. She's ready when they go low. She's ready. And so that's what I took away from it. I did.
But you know what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lois.
No, I was just going to say, you know, the one thing she reminded us of when people remember when people fighting over toilet tissue, right? But when she talked about when people couldn't even get that. So just those small things that we were reminded of, because that administration put us in that situation.
And Vicki, I agree with you too, that, you know, what it says for young Black girls, brown girls, and even white girls. It says a lot. She represents, I think, the gamut of women. And I think that, you know, little girls are going to look up to that. But I also think it says a whole lot for men. Black men in particular, you have to see how supportive you need to be of a woman who has ambition and has goals and has desires to go to certain levels, and the support that is needed to climb up to that level. And just imagine the support, although her husband is, he's not a Black male, but still it gives that to even any man, to be that support, that backbone of his wife. I'm sure that there were times that he was the one that was home, that was, making sure that dinner and things were on the table while she was a prosecutor and other things. So I think that says a lot, even for men, and the support system that's needed for women in this day and time, when women are trying to do different things. They're trying to go beyond the scope of the home. They're trying to go beyond the scope of, certain kind of careers, but they are aspiring to be in politics. They are aspiring to be, in top executive leadership in corporations, and no longer the secretary. And nothing wrong with the secretary, but I'm saying that they are trying to move up to higher position and to live out their dream and to live out their gifts. And so that's a good thing. I think that we would see our very first man, if, I believe they're going to win. And so that will be something very good for our country as well, and for the world, I think, to see us doing. But I think from now until the election, there's a lot that's going to happen. I do think that the Biden and Harris campaign, I think they're in good shape, but I think that they're still going to have to do some different legwork for those progressives. I think Trump is in trouble. I think Pence has decided he's going to ride the train out until it's time for him to do what he wants to do. And he showed the people that he's not a clown like his leader. And so that he can be poised, he can be a great representative. If you look at the comments I just look at the comments on Fox, because I like to see what people are saying. Oh, they're saying great things about him. The things that they were saying about him way better than they would say about Trump. And as a matter of fact, even with this whole virtual thing that he's saying he's not doing, there's a lot of Republicans not even happy about that. And did y'all know that Mitch McConnell has not been in the White House since August the 6th?
I know as of today. And because he didn't like the way they were handling I said, now you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
He didn't like the way they were handling what, Becky?
He said that he hadn't been in the White House since August because he didn't like the way he saw it being handled in the White House. He would handle it different, so he wouldn't go in because of how no one wear masks, no one
COVID,
no social distancing, so
it wasn't safe.
Basically, it wasn't safe,
which tells us the story that they are supporting him, but they wish the clown wasn't him. Let me just say that. They wish the clown was him.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? They wish the clown was
So
him
then
and
why
not
did
him.
somebody run against him then?
That's what they scared.
Well,
I'm with you, Joyce. I said, now it's crazy when not one person would even put their name in the hat. Not one.
I was baffled too. I was like, that can't be the best they have?
I thought
4 whole years to find somebody to just rise up and challenge this joker.
But you know, Trump leads with intimidation and fear. Now, everybody has seen it. Even when handling COVID-19, how he dealt with Republican governors versus Democratic governors. I can't believe it, because a life is a life.
That's true.
If you were in his camp, you got supplies, you got the ventilator. If you weren't, look what happened today. I think it was with the governor of Michigan. Trump has been against that woman. He's been very publicly against her. So I think that who wants the baggage that comes with getting out there to run against them? I think there's fear, retaliation, and intimidation that's driving a lot of these people to stay in the background and not do anything.
So
okay, go ahead.
I agree with you 100%, Vicky. So do they not know that we have memories that when he's gone and you still there, now you're going to talk? you don't even need to be in that seat because you can't even stand up for right or wrong. But let's just, that's the part that I'm thinking, like, okay, you got to come out your seat because you afraid to address anything controversial. Bye.
But I think, and some of them like what he's saying. See, he is saying stuff that they can't say, they can't say or wouldn't say.
Good point, Libby.
He's a clown to be able to rally up that base of those white supremacist people. A lot of them are on board with that. They are on board with him being able to say, we're not going to let China do this, and we're not going to let the Democrats do that. They are on board with it, and they sure as hell is on board with this. We're not going to let them tear down our cities and move in our suburbs. They are on board with all of that too. So a lot of that stuff, they're not running against him because they feel like, one, they do feel like he has improved the economy. They do feel like that he brought jobs back. They do feel like that they have a president that's on their side in terms of if they want somebody to do something wild, cowboy, and crazy, he is the one that would do it. So a lot of them,
like that wrestling move he did. Did y'all know Donald Trump was a wrestler? Oh, a wrestler. Donald Trump was a wrestler.
When and where? Because he's been a rich man all his life, child. Where you wrestled in the room?
Go out there and look, and you're gonna see him take down somebody in the WWF. It's gonna blow.
If you don't get out here looking at this man. Girl, you don't get out here.
I'm telling the truth.
He ain't wrestling nobody but that cheeseburger up there from
Somebody in the chat, y'all fact check me real quick. He's watching the live. Fact check me if President Trump was a WWF wrestler. I'm trying to tell you.
That'll be he may have in former life he may have wanted to, but he wrestled enough with a cheeseburger. I'm telling you.
There is a very strong concern about the transfer of power. Now, they talked about that last night too. So I raised my eyebrow, and I was glad that the question was asked, because what are we going to do to not only protect the vote, but to protect the transfer of power? Because, this president we have in office, he don't look like he want to leave.
No.
Kamala, I'm glad they asked the question. So then that means they have some plans and some things in place, in case he refuses. And then they turn to ask Mike Pence, what do you think about if your president, are you guys have a plan to transfer? What was his response? Does anybody recall?
It was a response, but it wasn't about that.
It was not.
Yeah, he dodged it.
Y'all know if you the last, I don't know how many debates, transfer of power question has never been asked until now. Never been asked, because automatically people just knew there's going to be the transfer. But this president, that has to be a question in the debate about a smooth transition of power. Come on now.
Well, there's nothing about him have been smooth. So
this is true.
This won't be either.
This the person that said that there's nothing wrong with him. He thinks that he's a miracle.
Yeah.
But you want to know something else, and this doesn't have anything to do with the election, but every president has had a portrait done of the past president and his wife, and it hangs in the White House. He had yet to invite the Obamas back or to do the portrait. So it just talks,
that's why they did their own.
His hatefulness. He is just, this man is just so hateful. I know he's going to be out of office. I already know. He is not going to win this election, because when we start looking at all things happening to him, God don't like ugly, and this has been just a lot of ugliness going on, and it doesn't make sense.
Don't be like that, Vicky. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And God don't like ugly.
Vicky, I'm very
Go to church.
You know God can come. He can come and use whatever you want to. Do you know? Do you wonder if that fly?
The sugar honey iced tea.
Sugar honey iced. I was like, somebody posted a meme that said a fly flies into a bar and looks and says, "Hey, is this stool available?" Let's sit down. I was like, they went crazy with memes.
Oh yeah, they've been funny all day today.
Look, I have never seen anybody that's a fly on you and you don't feel the fly. You just see it flying that way.
But you know what, Libby? This is what you didn't get. That he had a lot of spray. A lot of spray that pat the hair down. It's called hair spray. And so it was like a barn or a bush of hay. You know, a barrel of hay. And so the fly was there and felt quite comfortable. He never knew it until he saw it on social media. He didn't know it.
I told my husband.
The flies. Now here's another thought. Is it possible? Because typically when flies are annoying, they're going all around, right? But that fly might have got stuck. Got stuck and couldn't get out right away.
That's right.
That's right.
What if, because Kamala was speaking at the time when the fly landed, what if Kamala would have said her statement and said, also, by the way, you got a fly on your head?
Oh, I would love that. No, let me have this fly squatter.
I'm at least you got a fly on you.
That Pence did not look well. Did you see that?
Yeah, the pink eye.
Yeah, and his skin.
Yeah. That's why they needed that plexiglass.
Right. That's why Kamala was like, look.
Why he
I don't know, but they said he looked a little taunt, you know, his skin.
Listen, let me tell you something.
But he defended the Rose Garden, right? So this is what happened. And he went to the inside reception.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Got the pink eye.
Like I told somebody, one or two things were going on here. Either he had the pink eye or he had smoked some weed before he came out. It's only two things that happened. I need to know which one was going on. Listen. April one could have been going on. Now
it could have been with Daddy.
Joyce, that's right.
I've never entertained that, Libby, until you said that.
Listen,
I never even thought about it. White pink.
But listen, both eyes were red. One of them was better than the other.
Yeah.
It was that time of year where the weather's changing and
allergies.
Yes, that's what it is.
Allergies.
Yes, it was
that smoke was heavy. I get it. It was thick.
You do know that some people smoke to calm their nerves. You know that, don't you? And when you can talk even kill like that.
And you're delusional, so you just lie about everything. You can never answer a question because you just all over the place because hey, you just in the cloud somewhere having a ball.
Yeah, but I can't with them.
Listen,
y'all crazy.
Yeah, all the way. So are you looking forward to the next virtual presidential debate?
Well, he refused.
Going to do it.
Trump said he's not doing it. So as of now, there's no. He proposed another 2 dates, and Biden's camp is like no, and but he wanted to put him days out, like a week out or whatever. But to me, if you're not coming to show that you are negative, and I feel like is a test done from a legitimate source and person and medical personnel, I wouldn't go in person with him. Irresponsible. And so is the rest of his team. Nobody would call him to the carpet. So,
but they got to the debate so late that because a part of the what they had to do with the debate when they got there, that everybody had to be tested while they were there. They got there so late, it was time to go on stage. So him and his wife did not get a test. They knew they had it then.
Wow.
Everybody else in that room had to be tested before coming in there.
Oh, wow.
But you know what bothers me is he doesn't want to do virtual, but our lives have been changed. Our children's lives have been changed. We all have to do everything we do virtual, but you can't do the virtual debate. If you're losing in the polls, I mean, it's a risky move for a president. You need to be out there, but hey, do what you do.
He said he didn't want to do virtual because they could cut him off anytime they wanted to.
That's why we want it.
He was like, no, I'm not doing virtual so they can just cut my mic off and cut me off.
I wanted to do that with Pence last night because Pence, it became Pence's show because he started asking the questions. I'm like, now when did you become the moderator?
Yes.
He tried to put her feet in the fire.
And just talking over his time. He just kept talking over his time. And she, the moderator was just, just being too nice about it.
She couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle it. The one with the president, he was just absolutely, boy, go home and let him just figure it out themselves. Because he was not there. But I don't recall moderating being this difficult in the past. Like, I don't...
We had
I'm gonna put in my application. I'll moderate. I'm gonna put in my application.
Oh, I would love to moderate.
Oh yeah. Let me put in my application.
So Libby, if you were moderating, then what would you say?
I did a little fact checking.
Okay.
And Trump, he loves wrestling. And he was challenged to a match in 2007.
It
was called the Battle of the Billionaires.
Okay.
But neither man that was chosen, Trump and his opponent, were really going to wrestle. So they handpicked superstars to represent them. So you were kind of in the middle.
Ma'am, I challenge you to go out to YouTube and put in Donald Trump wrestling and watch him take out this man in his suit. Okay, and shave his
look alike
with a clipper. I look alike. It was not a look-alike. It was Donald Trump.
It may be out there, but trust and believe us. This billionaire man has never been out the box. There's no way he would even
Google it. Fact check me. Google it.
I don't know him forever. So I know he, listen, I don't doubt he got into some crazy stuff and pretended to do some stuff. I agree. Because the man, we never know what this fool can do. But what we do know, he is not going to think of the sort as a career.
Yeah.
That's what I know. Because he is one man that don't want nobody around him but rich folk.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's it. And I'm not talking about lightweight. I'm talking about the what they call the real high end privileged folk rich.
Yeah. Those that pay $50 for taxes.
Well, I would like to put a bet on it. The first person that you signed with Donald Trump taking a man out in the ring,
we not doubting he did it. We not doubting he did it. We not doubting he did. What we're saying is he was not no WWE wrestler. Now, we don't doubt he was out there swinging around playing like a fool because they'll probably take him doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, he probably been wrestling with a cheeseburger, but they ain't got that on tape. I'm just saying. Anything
from the Washington Post, sugar. Check the Washington Post.
Oh, if it's from the Washington Post, now you already know they can be a
all right, ladies.
Yes, well, thank you so much. That's all we have tonight. You're from the Grown Folks Table. We may or may not have any more debates, but stay tuned. We'll be back. We're going to talk about it because why? We have a president that's very entertaining and things change by the seconds in the U.S. these days. So please make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe to all of our podcast channels. We're on all the podcast platforms. And thank you again for taking a seat at the Grown Folks Table. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Early voting starts Monday in Georgia.
That's
Go.
good.